Welcome to Cover Avenue number 2. I'm your host, Echo Fangray Wolf. This is part 2. So, let me make this video a little bit shorter than the 45-minute one that you've watched before that if you've gotten here. I'm not so much mad at the vote as I am for the why. I really gotta know, in your heart of hearts, you knew you were voting for a rapist, a grapist, whatever you want to call him, and a racist who could only see women as a sex object, who cheats on his wife, and no disrespect to Stormy Daniels. She's not a bad-looking woman. His wife, 4 times hotter. Now, and I'm not playing nice. She's literally 4 times hotter. Now, compared to my taste in women, the man ain't got bad taste. But I don't have bad taste either. Y'all all know who I'm crushing after. And she doesn't know I exist. But she is very, very beautiful. Yeah, she's Chinese. Very hot. Very sexy. And a wrestler. I would love to let her put me in a chokehold. Or whatever her finishing move is. I would volunteer for the fabulously beautiful, flawlessly, dangerously sexy Zeta Zhang to put me in whatever fucking move she wants. I will not resist. Anyway, moving on. Because as important as that is to me, it's completely irrelevant to this video. For y'all who voted for him, where is your outrage? That's the main thing that I'm mad about. I'm not as much mad as you voting for him as the fact that you are not calling him out on this shit. Alright? Democrats call out Biden. We all know about y'all. If you didn't, you know about the if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. We went after his ass for that. But once he explained everything and apologized, we were good. We went after him for the crime bill. Except there's just one problem. He didn't write that crime bill by himself. He had other people writing that crime bill. And before anybody says anything, a lot of the people who wanted the crime bill were black people. Now, you can go fact check that. A lot of people that voted for the crime bill were black people. It was grandmas losing their grandsons because their grandsons didn't have the wherewithal to hang with people who didn't do drugs. Right? This is why I tell people, you know who your friends are. You are. I had this conversation with my nephew last night, so I'll have it with you. You know if your friends are troublemakers. You know. Doesn't mean you don't have to be their friends. But you also know that at certain times of night, if your friends want to go out and party, you keep your ass at home. It's not a hard task to say no. If they're really your friends, they'll accept the no. And if they get in trouble, they'll have you to call to get them out because you were smart enough to stay the fuck at home. I worked my entire childhood away. I worked in restaurant after restaurant after restaurant as a child. My friends played fucking sports. I didn't. I am not a team player. You hit me the wrong way, teammate or not, I'm fucking your shit up. Because I can. Because I am. May not like that. Which is why I never joined any sports teams. Because as the smallest guy, wherever I go, I'm also the biggest target. Whenever I enter a room, I scan for doors. I scan for windows. You ask why, I'll tell you. Because if I got to get out of there, I need to know how fast I can get from where I'm at to the door. How many people am I going to have to damn near kill to get to that door? How big are my opponents? Are there going to be more than one? Is it going to be a Rumble in the Bronx situation where I come into your hideout and now I'm getting thrown at refrigerators and shit and shopping carts? You know, I got to know. Am I going to be able to get in and get out and survive? I'm a small man. I'm 5'3.5", and I have to lose like 20 some odd pounds to get down to 135. So that's an issue. So now I have to ask myself, what's the easiest escape route? There is no such thing as an easy escape route, but if I at least know where the door is, I know in what direction to set my chair, so I can see the possibility of the threats that are coming in through the door. Now y'all probably don't have that mindset because you're probably not military, or you're probably not a really small guy, and maybe no one's ever picked on you or threatened to beat your ass every fucking day. Well, I'm 5'3". Everybody has done everything I just said. And sometimes, still to this day at 51, people think that they can whoop my ass. Good luck with that. So I'm not so much mad at did you vote for him. I'm mad at why did you vote for this man? You know he's a rapist. You know he's a racist. And people of color overwhelmingly voted for this motherfucker. So you have to ask yourself, why would you do that? Now I know some of y'all are like born in like 99 or 2000, so y'all don't know about the Central Park 5. Quick Google search will fix that right up. I know that some of y'all don't know about 1993, where they don't like Indians to me. A quick Google search will fix that up. You know that in his first term, the people made a documentary of the Central Park 5, and they asked him to not only be in it, but to apologize, and he said no. Even though DNA cleared the Central Park 5, he still believed that they were guilty. He also took out a front page ad to bring these 5 young teenagers some harm. And you know where I was when that was happening? We were living in the projects and moving over here. In 1993, I was living in this house. I was in the basement doing kung fu. And the They Don't Look Like Indians to me came out. I'm on my way to graduate. I'm not thinking about this white man and his battle with Indians. I know I'm part native. There's not enough native blood to count, but hey, I know I have it. So, I ain't thinking about it. And then OJ happened. You know where I was when OJ happened? I was in this basement doing kung fu. Working my way to trying to get a Native American acting career wasn't on the plan. Working my way to getting an acting career was on the plan. Maybe becoming a Power Ranger. Everything that I wanted to do was within my grasp. And all I needed was for everybody to just get the fuck out my way. And people started having babies with people who didn't want babies. And now you have this Echo Fan Grey Wolf who is a nobody but busting his ass to become somebody versus the guy who had all the fire in the world, who didn't have a care in the world until his heart got broken and he wanted to die. Then his heart got saved. And the same person that saved his heart broke his heart. So then he joined the military. Best decision ever. Because I found people who actually give a fuck if I live or die. Also, thank you to the 660 of you who give a fuck if I live or die. Maybe not so many after these videos are posted, but it's the principle of not wanting to be here. And then we look at this person who's in. I want you all to go and ask somebody that's been a rape victim, what don't they remember of that incident? A rape victim can tell you in complete and total detail their rapist, what he did, what he smelled like, what he sounded like. They can recall that shit almost instantly because they have to live with that shit every fucking day, and y'all put that motherfucker in office. So you're not racist. I can tell you every racist incident that I've had. I've had more bad incidences than good incidences. I've never forgotten a face of someone who said something racist to me. I've never forgotten a gender of someone who said something racist to me. So, when I was in high school, there was a white man, late 30s, early 40s, called me chief every day. My white boss told me that the customer was always right. And I replied to him, not when it's racist. And he said the customer was always right. 3 years, I had to put up with this motherfucker calling me chief instead of calling me by my fucking name. It was on my name tag. So, why did y'all vote him in? Because he's done nothing but be racist from day one. Attacking Tuskegee Airmen. Attacking Navajo Code Talkers. Attacking our fellow fallen soldiers in Arlington. Shipping people from Mexico who served to get citizenship. And from other countries that have served to get citizenship. And a lot of y'all voted him in. And a lot of y'all who voted him in were females and males of color and of European ethnicity. In other words, white people. There were a bunch of Asians, Trump 2020, who apparently forgot about COVID and why don't you ask China and the Kung Flu virus, the Wuhan disease, the China virus, the everything under the sun involving Asia virus. And you know who got hurt the most? Asians. Filipino Asians, Korean Asians. They were the ones who took the brunt of this beating because a racist motherfucker can't tell the difference between a Chinese, a Japanese, a Korean, a Vietnamese, a Malaysian, a Laotian, a Tibetan. Need I go on? Indonesian, Tahiti, Hawaiian. Racists can't tell nobody apart. Everybody looks like the enemy. And I bring up this every time I bring this up because I'm mad as hell that this happened to this young man, but he got cut across his face. Still has the scars because somebody thought he was Chinese. Because of some shit that Felon 47, aka Donald Trump, said on TV. There was a woman, two of them, Asian women, probably Korean, who got set on fire by black people. They survived. They got set on fire by black people because of the COVID shit that Trump was saying. So why did y'all vote him in? Asians, I'm specifically speaking to you. Why did y'all vote him in? Just last month or 2 months ago, I don't remember the exact date, but he sent the man back to Japan who was going to be a doctor for overfishing. Why'd y'all vote him in? Natives, he lied about Standing Rock. Why'd y'all vote him in? Black people, there is no excuse for you. There is no fucking excuse for anybody black watching this to have voted this fucking racist bastard in at the Central Park 5. There's no excuses for you. Hispanics, Latins, Mexicans, but not by blood. Why'd y'all vote him in? First damn thing he did when he got in there and started deporting Hispanics, Latins, and Mexicans. And Mexicans by blood are Native American. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're wrong. No, you're wrong. And I'll prove it. See, I had to take a Spanish class because the Japanese class was canceled when I was trying to get my acting degree. So they sent me to a Spanish class, and the teacher kept saying, Jaime, Jaime, Jaime. And I was like, ma'am, I don't know what Jaime means. But my name is James. She said, Jaime is Spanish for James. So as the class went on, I couldn't get the shit right. And we got to the breaking point where she looked me dead in the face and said, I've never met a Mexican who can't speak Spanish. And I had to let her know, first off, that was racist as fuck. Second, I'm not Mexican. I'm mixed. I'm part black, I'm part white, I'm part Native American. And Mexicans are also Native American. Because the bottom half of America, from the Gulf of Mexico, now the Gulf of America, all the way around to the bottom ass of Texas, all the way up through the bulk of Texas, like the whole top half of Texas, into Arizona, Nevada, California. All that shit was Mexico before borders. Mexicans are 1,000% Native Americans. And I had to explain to her that I'm not Mexican, but I am part Native American, and Mexicans are Native American. So yeah, there was another time that a woman thought that I was Mexican, and she was in a beautiful red dress, walking down West Main Street. I was walking towards her. And I'm going to say some very bad words now, so brace yourself because here I come. This bitch saw me coming and decided that I was the Mexican with a razor blade in my tongue and that I was going to cut her because there was a rumor of Mexicans going around with a razor blade kept in there. And they flip it out, cut a person, put it back. Which, you know, with AIDS being on the rise, I don't think that was a good idea. But hey, if you want to catch AIDS and you cut somebody and you lick their blood when you put it back in your mouth, that's on you. You know, you should probably at least clean the blade first. You know, but, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. And so she literally walked across the street and went by thugs that I went to high school with. Thugs that used to bully me. And crossed the street. Now, I'm in my 20s. I was 23. I was having a really fucked up year that year. I looked dead at this woman. And I told her to her face, but far enough away that we weren't face to face, I'll be that same black guy that saves you from those fucking thugs that would probably have raped you. And she's like, what? I said, you heard what the fuck I said. I'm not a fucking Mexican. No offense to Mexicans. And she got irate and kept walking. But the point was, this is the side of the street. We're on this side. She crosses over here, comes up, and then crosses back. While I'm going right there. There's a church right here. And before I got to the church, she crossed back, and I had just crossed the street to the church, and I started yelling at the top of my lungs at how racist this woman was. So yeah, why'd y'all vote him in? Because racism is a thing, and he has proven more times than that he's a racist. His golden goose, Omarosa, literally says she's heard him use the N-word, just not on the TV show. So, if you're not racist, I want to end this video with this. If you're not racist, and you voted for Felon 47, and you see the things of him deporting American citizens, lying and putting bullshit MS-13s on people who don't have tattoos on their hands, and all of a sudden every tattoo makes you a gangster, and a Chicago Bulls hat, getting deported to El Salvador. Why aren't y'all saying nothing? Where's your outrage? Here's my favorite of all. He's sending American citizens to El Salvador to go to a fucking prison where we have no protection under the law. And they can abuse us and do whatever the fuck they want, even kill us, and no one can say anything because we're in a foreign country. And he wants to do that. So is that what it's going to take for him not to send black people? But sooner or later, he's going to send a white person. An innocent white person is going to die before y'all wake the fuck up to realize what the fuck you've done. Just want to point that out. There is an equal amount of blacks and whites and Mexicans in prison. Asians, it's slim, so you had to really do something if you're an Asian and you're in like a high max security prison because, you know, it's maximum security. They only send killers to maximum security. And those lifer motherfuckers, like Aryan Nation brothers and shit like that. So, why would you vote for him if you're not racist? Yeah, you're not racist, but you're not making any outrage videos. So what happens when it's your cousin who accidentally drove his car through the bank? He didn't steal anything. He just mistaked the brake for the gas pedal. Smashes through there, accidentally kills an old lady. And they sentence him for a vehicular homicide. But it's cut down to manslaughter. And here comes your good old boy Trump. Looks at your little white nephew and says, that one, El Salvador. Because that's clearly what's going to take. Because none of you who are not racist have said a damn thing about him sending the father with the autistic children to El Salvador. Y'all seen the video where dude got to meet him. He didn't have any fucking tattoos then, but yet Trump gets on press and says he has MS-13. He has MS-13. Funny he didn't have it before he got sent there. And how the Supreme Court has told Trump, bring them back. Bring them all back. And Trump has pretty much said, so what's it going to take? When it's one of your family members that happens to be white, that just happens to have a lot of standing in the community, where he finally goes, you're going to El Salvador. This man wants to take away birthright citizenship. He wants to do a lot of things. And y'all voted for it. So, again, you claim you're not racist. You voted for the policy so that you can get cheaper eggs and cheaper gas, but your little 5-year-old daughter can be impregnated by some jackass down the street and won't be able to have an abortion. Again, that shit's on you, and you're going to have to own it, and you're going to have to answer her for that. But where the fuck is your outrage videos? Because obviously, you don't have them. Because if you were outraged about the shit that he was doing, all white people who didn't vote for him are already saying shit. But all of you white people who did vote for him but swear to high heaven and hell that you're not racist, then you're fucking liars. You ain't racist, but you voted for a man who is a racist rapist. Now, he hasn't raped any black women. He's raped a white woman, penetrated her with a finger. He's cheated on his wife with a woman who's not anywhere as pretty as his wife. Where the fuck is your outrage videos? He sent an Asian man who had one semester left from graduating into being a doctor home to Japan for overfishing. In more recent news, if you're not up to speed, I'm about to drop the whole 1,000. He literally just said that he was going after all Asian students and their visas to come here to study. But he's not racist, right? And yet you forgot. In his first season, as his first term of president, he went after the alphabet community kids. He went after Asians. Need we go on? Need we go on? Yeah, let's stop there, because I'm not white. I have white in me. So nothing that he does to white people is going to affect me. But when he goes after Asians and natives, that does affect me, because I'm native, but I'm also black, but I'm also white. I can do nothing to help white people. There's not going to be a white man on earth who's going to look me in the face and say, thank you for helping me, Echo. Not one white person is going to ever need my help. Never, ever, as long as I'm breathing. Even if I become super famous, no white man or woman is going to look me in my face and say, thank you, Echo Fang Grey Wolf, for doing whatever the fuck it is that I did for them. Because there's nothing I can really do. I don't have the power to help white people. I don't have the power to help black people. I don't have the power to help natives. If I did, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I'd have the shit done. But for the white people who aren't racist, that didn't vote for him, this video isn't for you. But for the white people who aren't racist, but you did vote for him, you may have some issues you need to work out with yourself. Because one, if you're not racist, you wouldn't have voted for him in the first place. Fuck the policies. Fuck the fact that you have to pay extra for eggs and gas. Everybody else does too. But you voted against it. And by the way, those egg prices and those gas prices haven't gone anywhere. So what did you do? And while we're on it, let's talk about the bogus assassination attempt. I have been a lonely man my entire life. Even when I have friends, it's in proximity. I still have always been a lonely person. Not one time in my loneliness did I want to get up and get my bow and arrow and go bring bodily harm to someone who's never done anything to me. Now, maybe to a couple of school bullies I've wanted to bring bodily harm, but I like my freedom, so that's why they're still breathing. No. But this kid's parents ain't made one video on how much they love their son. Don't y'all find that suspicious? And I asked you this question before I end this video. I asked you this question before the simple fact that even the kids from Columbine, parents, have said something. Negative or positive about their kid, they have said something. This kid's family ain't made effort one to come out. They paid that kid to die. You don't have to believe me, but they paid that kid to die. They got into his head and said, since you ain't got no friends, we need you to be a martyr to this cause. We need you to die. And the worst part of that is that this boy's family obviously signed on, because they ain't made not one goddamn video. They have kept silent for this fucking long, and they ain't made one fucking video about how their fucking son was was killed by a fucking CIA or Secret Service sniper after his bullet didn't hit Trump. And I'm going to explain that, because I'm in the military. I don't think I have the rounds, but I definitely don't have the rifle. Do I have the rounds? Nope, but I got bazooka. Oh my god, Falcon is broken. That would be these guys. Alright, handcuffs. Don't worry, they're not police handcuffs. Okay, this is good. Okay. Stay puff. Ah. I do have rounds. This is black powder. No, these are rocks. Alright, forgot what I was saving those for. Oh shit. Okay. Wrong medicine there. Green Lantern. This thing. You get one of these there, you're not having an ear. Okay? These belong to my uncle. Another military man, much like me. Um, I don't own a firearm. I don't like guns. I'm against them. And I know for anybody says, but you in the army. So fucking what? That doesn't mean I like guns. I'm gonna give them back to my uncle when he gets out of the hospital. But these are for martial art training, in case you're wondering. I just prefer to use ropes because they don't hurt as much. They aren't real, you know. But you know, these things do hurt when you're training and you're trying to move with these motherfuckers. You know. Understand this and understand it well. That would have been gone. This gone. You'd have to be almost excellent to the point where you can shoot a fly off a toothpick to shoot a man in the ear and him not die with a jacket that big. You'd have to be fucking beyond perfect. That kid's not militarily trained. And his family ain't came out and said a goddamn thing. Not one damn thing about him. Not one. Not one positive thing have they said about this man that attempted to assassinate Trump. Not one thing. Not one thing have they said about him. Not one mother-loving thing. Now, I know I'm not a saint, but I also know that my family would have said something about my death. Even the motherfuckers that don't like me would have at least lied and said how much of a good person I was. On some level or another, someone would have said something. I kid you not, someone would have said something. Someone in my family would have said something. This kid's been dead for almost a year and some change. And nobody from his family, nobody has said a damn thing about this poor boy. Nobody. Nobody said nothing. Nobody has said a damn thing about him. You're gonna tell me, even if he ain't got no friends, then no one's gonna say anything? No. Someone would have said something. Had it been me, someone would have honestly, truly to God, had said something. I know my brother. My brother doesn't like firearms. If he's gonna do anything, he gonna beat you with his fist. It's called Kung Fu Havoc for a reason, y'all. Literally, Kung Fu is in the name of the channel. I don't believe in using guns other than the two guns that God has attached to my arms called fist. I need to get a O-ring to fix him, so he's good for now. Let's put this back in here so that I don't lose him. But yeah. someone would have said something if I had done something that stupid. Someone in my family would have damn sure has said something. They would have said something. They would not have held back, and they would have been like, exactly what I'm saying now, someone would have been saying that about me. Like, not my brother. If my brother's gonna handle shit, he gonna handle it with his motherfucking hands. He ain't gonna get the bitch way out and use a fucking firearm. And FYI, I also can't shoot worth shit, which is how I got an honorable discharge. Failure to adapt. So yeah. For the record, that there is my DD-214 in this thing right here, declaring that I have an honorable discharge. So, I state it again, one more motherfucking time. This boy's family ain't came out in all this time. They paid that family to stay the fuck quiet. They paid that boy to die, and Trump won. He was far from winning, so what did they do? Have a fucking assassination attempt. Give him the presidency. And it worked. And all of you motherfuckers that voted for him, you fell for it. Whether you're racist or not, ask yourself this, because I'm ending this video, but I'm ending it with this question. Why has the family of the assassin not come out? Why have they not said anything? It's been over a year. Why have they not said any fucking thing at all about their son? Did they not love this kid? Did they just like go on vacation? Are they still alive? Why has nobody in that family said a fucking thing about their son dying at the hands of the CIA or the Secret Service or whoever the fuck if he attempted to kill the president? You would think that that family would have enough stones to come out and say, that's our son. Because the people at Columbine, they came out, that's our sons. We don't know what happened, but we know those are our sons. It's nothing we can do to undo what they've done, but we can't apologize. And the parents of those two kids that went straight ape shit at Columbine did apologize. Back then, the legal ramifications wasn't that bad. Same thing with Uvalde, where the cowardly cops just would not go in. All those kids that will never see the age of 10, will never see the age of 13 or 12, or however old they were. Their parents have came out. The family guy who did all the bad stuff hasn't come out. And I get it. Shame. But nah. This is too clean. It's way too clean. If you're military, you know what the fuck that means. You know what the fuck that means. This shit was too goddamn clean. Because usually a professional makes it clean. But a person that's 21 years old with no military experience and just is the top with his rifle, nah, too clean. The worst part is that this boy's family ain't came out, ain't apologized in public like the Columbine people did. Now, Sun Hong Jo from Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, his family didn't come out and apologize. But that wasn't the first murder at Virginia Tech. Another young Asian dude went off and cut off his girlfriend's head at the food court. Go ahead and Google it. Their family ain't came out. But Asian people are different than white people and black people. Black people and white people, we got too much mouth. And we talk about shit. But this one white family, whose kid killed people, attempted to kill the president, who wasn't the president yet, gave this man the presidency. And y'all fell for that shit. Hook, line, and sinker, you fell for it. So then you have to ask yourself, how did I fall for this shit? Because you were riding with blinders on. See no evil, hear no evil. That's what you've done every time Trump's opened his mouth. Can't hear him. Can't hear him. No, you don't want to hear him. What I want to know is, why did that family not come out yet? It didn't take long for the parents of the Columbine massacre people to come out and say they were sorry that their kids did that shit. But see, the thing was, when you did a deep dive in Columbine, their kids were picked on because they were kind of gothy. And so everybody just picked on them, picked on them, picked on them. They wrote a list. You understand? They literally wrote a list. Why don't you ask yourself why the FBI, the CIA, and every damn thing else ain't found no manifesto of this boy trying to kill Trump? That's it. Go read. They ain't found shit. Because if they found shit, they would have had that shit on the news by now. And y'all dummies fell for that shit. They ain't found no manifesto, nothing. How do we know this? Because remember the military guy that was selling secrets by playing Call of Duty? Well, he'll never see freedom again. But y'all remember him, right? They found all the fucking military secrets on his computer, and what did they do? They came out and talked about it. Funny. This kid that attempted to shoot the president, who wasn't the president at the time, ain't got nothing. No manifesto, no assassination attempt. He's 21. He's not that good at covering up shit like that. I got a lot of anime porn on my computers. I've saved them because I like watching hentai. And I like watching things like Bible Black. I don't watch anything else but that. A whole lot of Asian stories that have sex in it, but it's part of the story. I got a whole fucking bunch of Asian porn before the internet. But they're disc. Can't hide them. I wish I had the money now that I put into those discs, but you know, one little fucker. But here's the thing. I give you 99.9. I just gave you the whole 1,000. You didn't catch it. This young man had no reason on earth to shoot at Trump. No reason. And his family has not come out, not one time. And they have not found a damn thing on that boy's computer. And somehow or another, none of y'all have said shit. So where's your fucking outrage on the shit that Felon 47 has done to people of color? Because you're not racist, right? Or you are racist. Because if you're not racist, you sure as fuck support one. So thank you for watching.